Memory can be an unkind thing when it is disturbed. In those days, right on Pennsylvania Avenue, anyone could witness families being sold to the highest bidder. This in the capital of a nation founded on liberty.
The food, water, clothing. I've prepared everything, Dan.
But the children.
The children understand that they ought to be quiet and to keep Memney and each other no matter what.
This is the first time. The first time I'm going to be away from my family. From you.
My husband. My husband. What have you not done to make this family free? What a father you are. Your strength, your courage. Remember what you said? My mind is on freedom, stayed on it, and by divine right, we shall have it. Remember?
But the courts, the legal courts should have.
Here we are now. Daniel, we are out of time. This is it. We have to go now. Make our own freedom. Carry out your plan for us, for your family. Get away from this place.
You take care. I see you. I see us. You take care.
See us in your mind. See us with you in Philadelphia. Never take your mind's eye off of that.
Hear now, God's people, the doxology. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below. Praise him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Our Father, the infinite, matchless King magnificent, the living Christ, the servant Son, the prophesied, the saving one, the Holy Ghost from above, the faithful friend, the seal of love, this life, this heart, this song taken, my all in all, my everything.
You say you found Master Armstead in the hallway.
Crying out in pain, and his body trembled with the cough.
Mary, Miss Susanna was present when you served Mr. Armstead the tea, wasn't she?
Irritable. Miss Susanna was there. She would not leave the kitchen.
He quit the shop at the Naval Yard a few weeks ago.
But how does he look?
Really sick. His cough is deep, like his body's trying to get to it.
No money coming into that house then.
I heard at market, the Armsteads, they are oppressed with poverty. Mrs. Anna begging off the people she owes.
Daniel,
Master Armstead could die any minute.
And that's not all. I hear tell Master Armstead, he might just move out the house to the poorhouse.
And no.
But Mary, you have seen him. He's failing. I hear tell nothing can be done for him now.
No more, no more, no more, no more. Not one more of my family shall be hauled off and sold, or carried off in some last will and testament. No.
My son, you know freedom making is some hard business. Watch your mind on this.
I shall not have it, Mama. No. All us here in this house are Andrew and Caroline and Mary Ellen, all hired out? No. I shall appeal to Master Armstead.
Appeal to Master Armstead? Appeal? To him? That awaits him, Daniel. He gone. His only loyalty is to his wife and children. How did that document make it into your hands? Does he know you have it? What does all of this have to do with Master Armstead?
Anne, this document, Mary, he showed it to me after he signed it. I took it when he quit. Listen to me, Mary. Master Armstead has abolitionist leanings.
Leanings? Daniel? He owns me. He owns the children, our children, us.
Anne, read the words written.
The Memorial of Inhabitants of the District of Columbia, praying for the gradual abolition of slavery in the District of Columbia.
Anne, keep reading. What does it say?
Against enslaving those entitled to freedom and against the separation of families.
The line of names. Read the signers who signed.
William Easby, Thomas Lindell, James Owner, Thomas Howard.
Thomas Lindell, James Owner, Thomas Howard. Oh yes. They freed Edward Allison. His family lives around in the 5th Ward.
Daniel, so many white men in the Navy Yard have signed this memorial. Well, it looks like about 100 of them. A lot of white men.
Keep reading the names, Anne.
William Doughty, Mordecai Booth, Robert Armstead.
Did you hear that, Mary? Master Armstead signed this document. He signed against slavery, Mary.
But I heard Anne read gradual abolition of slavery. Master Armstead's no gradual sick.
He's still breathing, isn't he, Mary?
Anne, read the last words. One more time.
Against the separation of families.
Mary, you have to trust me.
But Daniel,
I gotta go. Mama's here. Anne is here. It's gonna be all right, Mary.
then you go. Right now, Daniel. Go.
No one knew what would follow the strike at the Navy Yard. Grievances twisted into resentment. A white mob tore through the city. The fires raged. It was the first race riot in the capital, but not the last. The district attorney was Francis Scott Key. His brother-in-law, a man called Tawney, had dreams of becoming the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Neither could fathom the true source of the unrest, but both men thought they knew who to blame.
The city is in disorder, Roger. These abolitionists are to blame. They write and publish all manner of disgusting lies. Did you know Crandall distributes incendiary pamphlets? Will the abolitionists not cease to stir the pot?
You are Francis Scott Key Frank, the U.S. District Attorney. You have it in your power to shut them down and silence them.
On what grounds? Besides, we have freed thousands of slaves in Maryland. You and I both have lent a hand in liberating whole families through the law. I counted myself a friend of Black freedom. And now Maryland is finally dedicating funds to remove all blacks from our society and return them to Africa. Imagine Maryland without that cursed race. But it is indisputable that slavery is a necessity until such a plan can be effectuated. No doubt the abolitionists put all of us in danger. They give every slave the pretension he should be free immediately.
And what has freedom done for the blacks? Nothing but vice and crime and ruin. And once free, they degrade the labor of white men.
Frank, this Crandall business, it could unseat Roger's nomination. They will say he's nothing but a partisan for Jackson, willing to let Rome burn in blind devotion to slavery.
These are dangerous times. Rioting in the streets, public disorder, and slaves attempting to murder their masters?
Frank, my brother, you have a record of benevolence, it is true. But the good order of the city is hanging by a thread. You must jail the botanist.
But what law has been violated? What crime committed?
The crime, Frank, is sedition. You have it within your power to detain the abolitionist Crandall and question him about his publications.
Jeffers, Roberts, find and detain Reuben Crandall, the so-called botanist, and bring him here for questioning at once.
What are we looking for, Mr. Key?
I want all of his incendiary tracks, all of them. Search his house, his office, his personal effects. Bring me everything.
Are you Dr. Reuben Crandall?
Yes, I am.
Sir, you are being charged with being an abolition agent, and I have a warrant for your arrest. Did you distribute these to anyone?
No, I did not. They are mine. And what could be wrong with them? Here, I will read one to you. Human rights, #1. Necessity of their discussion. The people of this country have generally been accustomed to believe that human beings, as such, are invested with certain inalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Undoubtedly, there have been some by whom this doctrine has never been cordially received. By many, it has been perverted.
Dr. Crandall, that mob outside might waylay us. For your safety, sir, we should get to the jail right now. You must be an abolition man. Don't you think it's very dangerous to settle the slaves free? Wouldn't colonization be the better plan? Ship the blacks out, back to Africa.
It would seem that emancipation is a better plan.
Ah, okay. Then we should all be murdered and have our throats cut. The next thing the blacks will be for is amalgamation.
Absurd.
Take care in your speech, Dr. Crandall. Take care. You best not speak too freely, sir.
We are witnesses to what you say, and we don't wish you to convict yourself.
Won't do, Mary. Won't do. Naylor, prepare the deed of manumission as follows. All the girls, Naylor, 30 is the age they shall be freed. And the boys, yes, the boys, at 35. But not the eldest, Andrew. He shall be freed at 40. And Mary shall be freed upon my death. My prayer book, Dan. Bring me my prayer book. Naylor, here, record the names and ages of the children from the book. From my inspection of the document, all things are in order from the deed of manumission. Read it back to me.
To all whom it may concern, be it known that I, Robert Armstead of Washington County, in the District of Columbia, in further consideration of $1 current money, to me in hand paid, have released from slavery, liberated, manumitted, and set free, and by these presents do hereby release, and from slavery liberate, manumit, and set free, my Negro woman named Mary Bell, at my death.
I am ready to sign. Make haste, Naylor. Make haste.
Armstead signed the deed. Marrying the children, they're going to be free.
Papers don't mean a thing. You're still a slave, Daniel. The law is the white man.
Maybe, but I'ma use it.
But what about you, Daniel? You still ain't free. What you gonna do about you?
I've been hired out all this time, working for years on my own.
What you waiting for? Huh, Daniel? Petition for your freedom. I did. You know this. Went to see Mr. Key about the law. Sue anyone. Nellie, Sarah Ann, all my friends.
That was 20 years ago. Freedom? Freedom was everywhere. Not now. Times change. And I hear so has Mr. Key.
Listen to me, Daniel. You know Anna Wig. Anna won her freedom just about a year or so ago. Key her lawyer too.
Don't matter a thing. How many times have you been sold? Your friends, your family, us, sold like a damn mule. Law. Law ain't nothing but against the black man.
A man has got to take freedom when he can. You better run, Daniel. Get north. Land of Canaan, my brothers. There's no other way.
Petition, Daniel. You see, hear me? Proof of freedom with me and my family. Petition.
The greatest moment of danger was the first whisper for freedom. Slaveholders listened. Some responded with vengeance, planned, clandestine, violent.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen this man? Going to the yellow house now, boy.
Georgia man got you now, boy.
dying.
Have you no honor, Robert Armstead? Have you no consideration for your family? This is the ultimate disgrace you have visited upon our household.
I need care, Susanna.
I doubt not that Mary fell away from her duties, seeing after your every physical necessity in our home, Robert. And now, on this day, you have wrung it from your mind yet another way to humiliate me. I can only conclude that your hand has been forced under severe duress.
Susan, please.
What with our debts bearing upon us, and every collector eyeing our property, home, land, chattel, all of these unfortunate turns have upended our livelihood. And you, manumit, a healthy, prime piece of our property. I spoke with Messrs. Armfield and Franklin yesterday. They report that in Georgia, prices for females and young children are strong. A woman like that Negro with future increase, Robert.
Taking children from their parents, Susanna. Slavery. Disgraceful business. Every white man garroted to carry it.
You have compromised most severely my efforts to wrestle our family out from under these states of affairs. You know full well the ridicule I will suffer. Manumission. Emancipation. It's ruinous and abomination. You must have lost your mind. Oh, Robert, hear me, please. Revoke the deed. The chattel, the small chattel, each will yield a substantial price, I beg of you. Think of our children. Robert, our legacy, our livelihood. Revoke the deed. I shall pray for you, Robert. I trust you will think about this carefully.
Even a white man could be gagged and bound on the flimsiest of evidence, jailed for months to the point of near death. Abolition? Abolition was a word best left unsaid.
Order! Order! You may proceed with your indictment of Reuben Crandall, District Attorney Key.
The third charge of libel is the publication of these disgusting pictures of white men in the act of inflicting, with whips, cruel and inhuman beatings upon young and helpless and unresisting black children, and other violence in a manner not fit and proper to be seen and represented and calculated to excite the good people of the United States to violence against the holder of slaves in contempt of the laws, to the disturbance of the public peace and government of the United States.
Reuben Crandall. The grand jury has found the charges against you to be a true bill. You are hereby indicted with seditious libel. You are a danger to the community
Reuben Crandall. Bail set $5,000. The court will now hear the petition for freedom for Daniel Bell. Is counsel ready to proceed?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
We are not, Your Honor. We have not had adequate time to find witnesses to protest this absurd pretension. And we must object to the very nature of these proceedings. There's no merit to this cause, no real claim to freedom. This slave is a slave for life, and nothing more.
I've heard enough, counsel. All of what you say may be true, but this petition will be heard, and you will be ready to proceed to trial next month, or I will declare him free for life. Next case.
Sir, may I have a word? I will buy this slave and relieve your concerns right now. Name your price.
The colonel's arranging for me to buy my freedom. $1,000. 3 years my wages going forward.
It's a lot of money. But like Mama said, freedom making is hard business. And she's right. And the colonel signed the papers. No more slave for life.
Think of it. We are all free now, Daniel. The children, all of us, right here.
A free man.
Slavery was everywhere you cared to look. Talk of it flowed from tongues in taverns, attics, basements, kitchens, stables, streets, tea rooms, parlors, bedrooms. Women were slaveholders. Children inherited slaves. Churches, colleges, and seminaries, too. Few renounced the inheritance.
My trouble, honestly. Mr. Armstead signed a deed of manumission, gave away the only valuable property we have.
For some moral notion, anti-slavery business.
I cannot believe it.
There, Susan. The Lord has been our refuge from one generation to another. Mr. Armstead's death leaves you in a particular standing in your household.
Yes, I am well aware, but
Surely you know, Susan, as his widow, you have protection under the law. You have sole legal authority over your property, and that authority is absolute.
In the light of the law, Susan, I'm inclined to inquire, wherein does your grievance reside?
with the deed of manumission for the female. The deed, it was duly filed in the court. All signatories are valid. I'm afraid there's no way around it.
Susan, if I may, what were the circumstances under which Mr. Armstead signed the deed?
The execution of it was made while he was recuperating in the almshouse. He signed it in the morning. I learned from the clerk that afternoon the deed had been filed in the courthouse.
Then I dare say, Susan, Mr. Armstead may have signed the deed under duress, extreme duress. I would hazard even if convalescence here from his illness could avail him of no health benefits, then surely his illness and care away from your home may have affected his mind.
Your claim could be then, Susan, that Mr. Armstead was not of sound mind, and therefore forced under duress when he executed the deed. Might I suggest that you apprehend the full value of your property? Without further delay, call for an appraisal of your personal estate. The future increase of the female Negro belongs to you, Susan. It is your due right as sole mistress of your estate.
I went to Crandall's shop and saw the pamphlet and inquired about it. It was around the last of June 1835 or 1st of July in Georgetown.
Have you seen any such paper as that?
I object. What is the intent of the question?
To show that the defendant Crandall gave to the witness the paper to be read. This goes to distribution and publication.
Leaving a pamphlet out for viewing in his office is not publication by definition.
I do not understand what your point is.
I want to know that placing a single paper in the hands of a well-known, respected individual is such a publication as is charged in the indictment. Gentlemen, the pamphlet has just been handed out to the court and the attorneys. Does this constitute publication? And is the learned attorney, Mr. Key, to be prosecuted for it?
You must wait for the evidence. Does anyone suppose that if I had taken advantage of this assemblage and distributed to the court such papers with the intent to excite commotion, insurrection, and rebellion, I should not have been liable to indictment?
The learned attorney has misapprehended my point.
The evidence will be seen by the jury. It is not up for the court to decide what inference may be drawn from this information.
The pamphlet was the same as the one I received from Dr. Crandall at his office. There was something written on it, but what it was I cannot say. I carried it to the Lithicum store and left it there.
Did Crandall say anything when he handed you the pamphlet?
I was looking at some botanical specimens he was unpacking when I saw it lying there and took it up. I remarked, "This latitude is far too south. It won't do here." I then said, "By your leave, I will take one and read it."
Gentlemen of the jury, you will agree with me that no one can doubt the tendency or design of Dr. Crandall. And no one could read the libel in the second count without feeling his blood boil. The great moral and political evil of which I speak is, yes, slavery. But is it not plainly the whole colored race? Let me be plain. Emancipation is a far greater evil. My own experience and observation has greatly changed my opinions and feelings on the subject. I have, as their honors on the bench well know, been the common advocate for the petitioners of freedom in our courts. Instead of the blessings that I believed were thus to be conferred upon them, the subsequent history of those persons has shown that in most cases, there were few consoling exceptions. The change of their position had produced for them nothing but evil. These grateful creatures, he is to teach them they are oppressed, that their master is a robber, a murderer of their bodies and souls. I ask you, gentlemen of the jury, to apply the undisputed definition of a libel I gave you 10 days ago when this trial began. You say what is libelous, what is an outrage, and what threatens the public peace.
Frank, this Crandall business is unfortunate. An acquittal?
He has suffered enough, I suppose. Some say he has tuberculosis, a broken man.
The decision of the jury will lead to more trouble, Frank. Slaves suing for freedom, groundless claims.
The Allens just won their case, Anne. Their petition was valid, and I was their attorney. But indeed, it may be my last freedom suit. Went to the Supreme Court, Roger. You will see more of these, no doubt. There is another family, the Bells, who are planning on bringing petitions.
25 years ago, I swore testimony in favor of a Negro man claiming freedom. Went to court for him, signed my name on his behalf. He won his freedom, all well and good, but I would not do so again. What is the result?
The practical effect of their freedom has been nothing but ruinous. They sink into poverty, and their very presence endangers us all with the slaves, who naturally become fixated on the mirage of black freedom. No northern man began the world with more enthusiasm against slavery than I did. For 40 years, I have desired to see Maryland become a free state.
Roger lent his reputation to the cause of liberation too, Frank. Meritorious claims at the time, descendants of free women, white women even. He proclaimed slavery a sin.
The terrain has changed decisively. If men like Jefferson and others have spoken with and written with freedom and warmth on the subject of slavery in times and on occasions when they felt it safe and free to do so, does it give any warrant to a man like Dr. Crandall, who, having nothing in common with us, to come among us and at a time and on occasions which we consider dangerous, force upon us such discussions? Of course not. The only proper course is to colonize the race elsewhere, preferably in their homeland, in Africa. The misguided Dr. Crandall has no understanding of what the colonization society is attempting to accomplish. Behold, I will do a new thing, says Isaiah.
All of my chattel are to be inventoried and appraised. You will surmise from the legal documents that my claim to them is valid. Also, you are to add to the appraisal every expense for clothing and board of chattel.
Mistress Armstead, if I may, I am aware of the deed of manumission for the chattel Mary and her increase, duly signed and notarized by your husband 2 days before his death.
And are you aware that my husband, Robert Armstead, signed the deed of manumission under duress? He was not of sound mind. The Negro deceived him while he was on his sickbed, intent on robbing him of his property. It's not legitimate. It's...
Ma'am.
The will names me as the sole beneficiary of all of his property. I will contest the so-called deed in the court in due time. Now, if you will, please attend to your duty at hand.
All furniture, to include draperies, candelabra, mahogany, table and chairs, school benches and desks, totals $74.25.
The chattel are to be appraised as slaves for life. The eldest chattel are likely Negroes. I expect a high value.
Let me see your hands.
I will not jump for you. I will not dance for you.
You unholy spirited animal.
I'm Caroline Bell. I belong to my mother and father, Mary Daniel.
Mistress Armstead, I caution you against that gesture. Now, it is my understanding that you want the highest appraisal. Are you aware that any markings on the chattel will decrease their value?
You may continue.
Negro girl Mary, aged 11, fine limbed. I give $200. Negro girl Caroline, aged about 9 years, $250. Boy George, aged about 7, healthy young lad, $200. Negro boy Daniel, aged about 5 years, $100. Negro girl Harriet, aged about 3 years, $100. Total of all chattel present totals $1,225. The total of your personal estate is $1,299.25. Mr. Armstead?
What is it?
The inventory list of the female Negro Mary, aged 40 years. I will need to add her to appraise her as well.
Keep her on the list of chattel. The Negro of this increase holds pretensions of freedom. There is no legal doubt. She is my slave. I will find her, set the matter straight, and send her to you.
Mother Lucy, the McIntosh apples, fresh right off the wagon.
Why didn't you tell me you were going to the market? I did ask you to let me know next time because...
No time for small talk. We have a lot to do today.
And?
What does it matter? I just had the mind to go today, that's all. I mean, you can go next time.
And? What is it? Every time I ask about going to the market with you, you come in this house with a basket full of produce and meats. Mother Lucy, your women's club, you've never once asked me to join. Not to mention to join in an after-church talk with your friends.
Now, Mary, what? What are you talking about?
And you, Anne, at market with your friends. If I come towards you, you wave and walk away.
Mary, this won't do it. It just won't.
You are free. You are free. That is what this is all about.
Daniel is going to be here any moment. We must have peace.
You telling me how to manage my house and for my husband?
All I'm saying is that we have to support Daniel. You have doubt about his plans for the family, questioning him about seeing Master Armstead and all?
And what about your doubt, Mother Lucy? Huh? What? With your disappointment over Daniel marrying me, an enslaved woman?
He's my son.
He's my husband. Tell me right now, if your freedom, Mother Lucy, and your freedom, Anne, to move about at your pleasure was handed out to you on somebody's passing thought. Tell me. Then I don't have to tell you about my own fight for my freedom and my children. And my husband, Daniel, he's working beside me to get it. Or do I have to tell you that? Mr. Bell, you know what? Caroline, she is growing into her own. She is such an independent spirit.
Reminds me of someone right here in this here room.
In this room. Now, here you go with your stories, Mr. Daniel Bell. You don't know what you're talking about?
Oh, I do too, Miss Mary. Headstrong.
Oh, headstrong. Oh, I was a good girl, Mr. Bell.
You know, when I first saw you at Mr. Lloyd's store picking up fabric, I started to say something to you then.
Oh, but you couldn't help yourself. Sitting yourself right next to me at Sunday dinner with the Bellamy's.
You mean you couldn't help yourself sitting next to this fine, handsome man? That was the best thing ever happened to you, Miss Mary.
Oh, please. How's everything going at the shop? Anything happening?
Nah, nothing at all. Young boys keep teasing me and Joe Thompson and saying we old timers. I told them they better wish they wish to see our age.
You know, I'm concerned about Andrew, Daniel. He's still sensitive.
That's not good, Mary. It's not good at all for this world.
Freedom, Daniel. Freedom. It's so close, isn't it? I mean, I can feel it. I can really feel it. It's just sometimes
Oh, now, Mary, what is this I see? Some kind of worry on your face? Mr. Worry, going to get away from my Mary right now. Death is close. So close. We are there. It's going to be all right now. Rest. It's going to be all right.
Thousands of freedom suits filed by slaves filled the American courts. From Maryland to Missouri, from Louisiana to New Jersey, Massachusetts, and New York, whole families sued for their freedom. More than half succeeded. Those who lost were determined to seize their emancipation, if not in the courts, then by other means.
Mary Bell's petition for freedom will now be heard. What evidence do you present, counsel?
Your Honor, may it please the court, we call Dr. McWilliams. Dr. McWilliams, did you personally know
Mr. Robert Armstead?
I did.
How long?
I think I have known him upwards of 30 years.
Where did you treat him as a patient, and what was his state of mind?
I do not remember whether or not I attended him at his house as a physician. I did attend him at the almshouse and saw him probably 3 or 4 times a week. I had no reason to believe he was insane or a man so weak in intellect as to be incapable of understanding the effect and operation of a deed of manumission, although I thought him to be a weak man in intellect. I do not recollect any particular facts on way of the other tending to show the condition of his mind.
What was his sickness, Dr. McWilliams?
My recollection as to his disease is not very distinct, but my impression is that he was suffering under chronic rheumatism. The tendency of chronic rheumatism is not to impair the mind. I never gave any special attention to the state of his mind at the time.
Your Honors, we think this to be an indisputable case. Mary Bell has a certificate of freedom, issued and sealed by the Register of the City of Washington 4 years ago. And of course, Robert Armstead's deed was notarized and witnessed. He freed Mary Bell and her children on September 14, 1835.
I must state that he was, for the most part of the time, completely disqualified, having no use of his powers of speech or person to render himself capable or intelligible to anyone.
Mr. Armstead was not in a proper state of mind, necessary to the performance of a man's duties, and not capable of any sort of business.
Oh, he was not of sane mind, having had instances of his flighty imagination during his residence at the said institution.
How find you?
The jury finds for the defendant, Susan Armstead.
Your Honors, this is an outrage. We move for a new trial. We have further evidence we did not introduce, that the defendant treated her husband, Mr. Armstead, with great neglect and cruelty. That for more than 2 years before he went to the almshouse, the defendant and her husband did not live together as man and wife. That they were reduced to such poverty as to be obliged to ask, and in fact did ask, alms in their neighborhood. That before his death, Mr. Armstead was begged and solicited by the defendant to revoke the deed, and that he uniformly and steadily refused to do so, declaring he had made the deed of his own accord.
Motion denied. Mary Bell and her children are hereby declared slaves for life.
Susan Armstead, she made it so the courts declared me and every one of my children slaves for life.
She contested Mr. Armstead willing at every turn. Every turn.
The courts decided in her favor.
There is no manumission, no law to speak of. A signature on a piece of paper, a legal document, means nothing if the owner or the court, for that matter, deem it so.
You know what this means, Daniel. Even Eleanor and our baby Thomas, both born free, know nothing but freedom. Their entire lives are now by law made slaves for life.
There's only one thing left for us to do, family. And that is to make our own freedom. To take it. I had to keep my own counsel till I could map out our freedom making with.
What you speak of is dangerous, son. If the plan fails, the consequences will be dire, not only for you, but for all of us.
Mama.
This freedom making, Daniel, it takes steadfast, immovable faith. Faith in your planning, faith in your mind, in everything it takes to see it through. Do you have it, son?
Faith. The faith I have is in the making of freedom for this, our family. It's all I have. It's all we have. My mind is on it, stayed on it, and by divine right, we shall have it. We have used every means of law applicable to see this through. Still, Mary's petition has failed.
You've talked to others.
A lawyer here in the city, abolitionist men. We have been meeting undercover. A schooner will be docked here at the wharf. It is called the Pearl. It sails at midnight. You'll go this way through the back way to the street. We will prepare a few days before. Only load what you and the children need, including food. I won't be with you, but I will meet you in Philadelphia.
Daniel, our freedom to escape to it, it's a heavy undertaking for all of us.
Mary, Daniel's decision has to be. Bring it to mind. Bring it to mind what happens to black men, free or not, who try to lead a slave escape.
Do you trust these white men, Daniel? Is your mind at peace?
The men involved? Yes. They have experience in their hands. They have taken others safely to freedom. And their reputation is well among their own peers. Mary, you can carry this out.
We run through the directions and timing once more. And family, hear me. No time shall be wasted. We do it every night until we know the plan by rote. We shall know and know well our work that is at hand. Daniel, we will meet in Philadelphia. See us in your mind. See us with you in Philadelphia. Never take your mind's eye off of that.
Sell them. Sell them all. Except Eleonora here. I shall keep her. But sell the rest of this lot. Take them to Baltimore, to the slave market. I don't want to ever see them again.
Leave me alone. Mama said my daddy said I'm freeborn. Always been free. Leave me. You're not my mama. I want to be with Mama. Mama!
$400, Mary. $400.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Free Harriet and Thomas. But the others. Let me through. Wait! Let me through! Let me through! You're taking away my wife, my children. It's not legal. She is a free woman.
Daniel!
They're all free. See? Signed. Here. Freedom papers. Signed.
Daniel! Daniel!
Mary!
Daniel, please, no, please, man, Daniel! Big sons and daughters. Listen, Mama and Papa, we must go away. Do you see me? See me. Come on, give me a hand. Remember me. I will see you always. And I will love you always.
Go on now. Get on away from
Here,
there now.
here. Right here. Daniel! Here is where I carry you. Right here. You are mine.
Hear me, and hear me good.
Daniel!
You are our own. We love you.
Break it up there now, boy.
I will find you.
I'm a sinner, darling. Don't you ever let me go. Hear the silence talking. You are all I know. In this asylum, I will sit outside and wait for you. Will you wait for me too? Come and drink this water, 'cause my cup it overflows. You're your mother's daughter, like you always let me know. In this asylum, I will sit outside, wait for you. Will you wait for me too? Can you see the shoes worn out upon my feet? I've been walking along these streets. In this asylum, I will sit outside, wait for you. Will you wait for me too? And now I stand to lose my mind. You always seem to do this every single time. In this asylum, I will sit outside, wait for you. Will you wait for me too? So the doctor says I'm